Well, my name is David Wilson. I teach the 12th grade English IB, the language A, second part of that. I would say that the core concepts there's twofold, I would say. One is that literature is an art form. And so one of the things that we do is that we study it as an art form and try to understand what are the artistic choices that the author or the poet makes. We are affected deeply when it comes to literature. We all have memories of that. Well, our job is to figure out what causes that effect. What does the author actually do? The choices that he makes, down to the actual word and the syntax and the punctuation that creates an effect inside of us. I would say that the other concept is that literature is a window into ourselves. It's always been there to answer the big questions of who are we and why are we here and how do we get along with each other. So the literature that we study addresses those big questions, those ones that were written sometimes a long time ago, sometimes very recently, but they're still universal. They apply to us today. Fun, I think. Literature can be very fun to talk about. And so we have a good time talking about literature, dissecting it, talking about the big picture, as I've already addressed. I think it's a safe place for us to explore ourselves as humans in relationship to this literature and in relationship to each other in the class. It's a close-knit group of people that have a common goal of better understanding the world, better understanding the literature, and better understanding ourselves. Well, I'm going to give you two. One is exciting from the get-go. Students get very excited about it. We travel once a year over to Stanton to look at, there's a reenactment of the recreation of a Shakespearean stage, and we go over there to study Shakespeare, and it's a great fun. We see a great play, Hamlet, Macbeth, and then we spend the afternoon walking around town. So that's one thing. The other thing that's fun, which the students at first don't think about, we just finished it up this past week. We do the individual oral commentary where for 20 minutes they go into a room with me, Mr. Wilson, and we just talk about literature. And when they start off the year, they think that's going to be something that's going to be very stressful for them, but when they finish it, their faces are lit up because it is just really fun to talk with someone who loves literature just as you do. And it's fun. It's fun. Well, I'm not sure that there's a normal day because we deal with lots of literature, and so depending on what literature we're talking about determines the activity that we're doing. But it always revolves around talking, writing, sharing about what we've been reading. And so that's pretty much what the day is. We sit around and we talk about literature. Well, this year I'm not doing it, but for the last 15 years, I was the coach of the speech and debate team. And so that was my real big extracurricular activity that I was doing. That my go-to is jazz and classical music. That's what I am drawn to when I'm in my everyday life for the most part, but I also love, I would say, more acoustic rock. I play guitar and sing, and so that's something that I do on my own. That's my main hobby that I do outside of school, and so I'm drawn to that.